Hello, ladies of the audience. Are you lonely for Valentine's Day? Do you need a quick, easy date so that you aren't considered a loser in your group of friends? Well, do I have a sale for you? For the low, low price of $9.98, you too could have one of the fine gentlemen of Wrestle Recap.
Hola, ladies. Senor Guapo here. In this Valentine's Day, it will not be complete without Senor Guapo. Because everyone knows you need a Spanish love to fill that void in your heart. I'll see you this Tuesday. Or whatever day it is. I don't fucking know. Because I don't celebrate Valentine's Day because I'm lonely! So lonely! Fuck, we're still recording.
Hello, ladies. Suave here. And on Valentine's Day, you can have the Suave one on your arm, carrying you about town to all the places that you would love to go, bringing you chocolates, flowers, for the low price, $998.
It's $9.98, Suave. We're not doing $998.
I'm not a cheap whore!
Yeah, take over. The fight's over. Yo, the takeover. The fight's over.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Recap. I was waiting for them to interrupt me, and they didn't. It's like they're learning. It's so amazing to watch them learn.
Hey guys, how's it going?
That was late.
You were. Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't work. Alright, so we're back with another episode of Wrestle Recap. Just the three of us this time. No special guest this time.
Not this time, no.
Maybe next time.
Because we're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. Fuck you, Suave, you piece of shit. Me and Kristen are gonna go.
Get off of me!
I love them!
Get off of me! Not built for that shit. Anyways, we got a good show for you tonight. Granted, we're only talking about two things, really.
Yeah, we're not really talking about Raw.
Somewhat. No, let's talk about NXT. This is the go-home show to...
the best brand?
Yes, the best brand. This is the go-home show to the special event, or the pay-per-view, or whatever we're calling it nowadays.
The special event.
Have we decided whether it's a rival or rival?
It's Rivals.
Rivals? Okay. So
Let's go with it.
Ruffin said it was Rivals, so I'm going with
We're
Ruffin.
going with Ruffin then. He is the end-all be-all when
He
it comes
pushed
to
the
You will
NXT.
go with the Ruffin Muffin.
He is the end-all be-all when it comes to wrestling. It comes to NXT anyways. So we watched the go-home show. And did anybody else think it was kind of eh? I mean, not bad.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was but then again, I only watched about like 3 parts
I
of
thought it
it.
was great. It had some great matches.
It does have great matches, but I felt storyline-wise, it was a little, but
Well,
it's a
the-
go-home show.
It's a go-home show. You already have your storylines already built up. So, pretty much it's just kind of adding flavor.
The best match of the night was obviously Finn Balor and Hideo.
Oh,
Of
definitely.
course. It's a match of the year.
I promise you, though, Finn Balor is not taking that finisher to Raw. Whenever he goes to Raw, that finisher is not going with him because none of the main guys could take that finisher.
Hopefully by the time he goes to Raw, a lot of these soft wrestlers, SAWFT, soft, are gone.
You think Randy Orton and Cena are going to be gone?
Gone. They need to stay in NXT for a while.
You have high hopes for that, then.
Yes.
I think Cena's going to be
One day.
on Raw so long that we're going to watch him die in the ring.
That's a possibility.
That's a little morbid, but I stick to it.
So you think Finn Balor's going to do the double foot stomp and kill John Cena?
And kill John Cena on camera.
Make it happen, Vince.
Or Owens is going to bring the package power driver and kill John Cena that way?
I figure I'm going to watch him die in the ring.
Something like that.
We've been saying that for Hogan for years.
It's true, but Hogan's the bionic man at this point.
We have the technology.
He's half
He has the
cyborg
Botox.
by now, right? He's have Cyborg by now, right?
Yeah, he is.
I'm waiting for him to walk out on Raw and you just see one of his eyes glowing when he looks into the camera.
So he's a T100.
Yes, he's a T100, obviously.
Well, they are going to be inducting Arnold Schwarzenegger into the Hall of Fame. Is that a tumor?
You guys probably saw
Put the cookie down now.
You guys saw it.
Who's your daddy, and what does he do?
You guys saw it, and I don't think they did, but he did the Arnold voice when I was looking this way, and it scared me a little bit.
Get to the chopper!
Jump a little
I saw you.
bit.
She got to the chopper.
It scared me a little bit. Anyway,
What you doing?
NXT.
We'll be back.
Who are you?
NXT, obviously the better show. What else do we have to say?
Other than Baron Corbin getting pretty much squashed.
He is Kristen Stewart's face.
It's Bull Dempsey ruining the match, but they really didn't make him look
Didn't
strong.
we already see Baron Corbin face Bull Dempsey?
Yes,
We did.
Didn't we already see him essentially like
Squash.
push Bull Dempsey's face like he was a
But
bitch?
now
Correct.
it's no disqualification.
He did just like this in the middle of Bull talking. And he made him look like a bitch. Guapo got sad for a minute.
But that Finn Balor match was just fantastic. If you have not watched it, I suggest you go get a.
For all
The
the
WWE Network is free this month,
For
so
all new subscribers, WWE Network is free.
for all the people that didn't cancel the WWE Network because they lost their shit about
hashtag cancel WWE Network.
I know it's a side thing, and we should talk about it last episode, and we only touched on it. But anyone who canceled the WWE Network because they were mad about the Royal Rumble,
You're only hurting NXT.
They're idiots
They're losers.
because you aren't hurting Raw. You're not hurting Raw or SmackDown.
You're hurting NXT,
NXT,
which is what you are paying for.
pretty much.
It's worth
And
the
the paper.
it's worth the $9.99 every month.
It really is. That's
And for
four great episodes.
I just want to point this out for all of you who did cancel. I really hope you were stupid enough and you canceled after paying for the 6 months.
Hopefully, you were doing payments and not the 6-month bulk.
If
If you canceled after you paid like the $60 up front, then that's dumb.
it was stupid.
I'm sorry to insult fans like that, but I mean, some of them may.
You are dumb. Get out now.
Exactly. But if you paid the $60 up front like I did, there's no reason to cancel.
We did.
We did not cancel.
We paid the 60.
We paid. Actually, no, it's still going monthly because I checked my credit card statement and
Whatever.
they do it monthly. But I want to watch NXT. And speaking of NXT, we're going to move on to Triple H's interview with Stone Cold. Aren't you going to do the coming up next?
Only next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Not the next episode. We're talking about it in the next clip.
On the next clip of Dragon Ball Z, we join our heroes back from the jump cut.
These are all true things.
Where did you go?
We went away for a
Everywhere.
little bit. We jump cutted.
Time travel.
We jumped the cut.
Stop. Das.
Did you find the cosmic key? That was
Moving
literally
on.
scary.
Moving on. We are here to talk about the big issue, which is Triple H's interview with Stone Cold. And I specifically remember texting both Guapo and Suave saying, I'm only 15 minutes in, and I feel like we could only talk about this and have a pretty lengthy show.
If this podcast was awesome, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It was. It was an awesome podcast.
I drank about 3 or 4 beers of this podcast.
I want to talk about first if I felt like, and I wanted to see if you guys felt like this too. Did you feel like that Triple H, like when Vince did his podcast, I felt like it was more condescending towards the smarts, towards the smart fans, and Triple H, like Vince came off as, I've been doing this forever, so I know what the fuck I'm doing, whereas Triple H came off as,
I'm still learning.
Yes, I've been doing this forever, but I'm not fucking perfect. I still like.
But he can still put a better product than Vince.
So,
Absolutely.
But I
We
mean,
salute you, Triple H, with all your work with NXT.
Triple H just, and I've had my issues with Triple H in the past. I will say that I take back a lot of the stuff I've said about Triple H over the years. Triple H has always been great on the mic. Whenever I criticized Triple H, it was during that time when he came back and he like fought Booker T.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was in the main event of every pay-per-view. He was kind of
He was carrying the company.
I felt like he was being shoved down our throats a little bit.
So, like John Cena?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, because at the time, John Cena was still coming up, and no one really had the torch after The Rock left. Once The Rock left and Stone Cold was up, there was this period of time where we didn't have a number one main guy. And Triple H became that guy. He was the perfect heel for that time.
And that's true. Except that when I was watching him, this was around 2007, 2008, he was face at the time.
Mhm.
He was going up against Vince. He was going up against Vince again.
So this is when DX reunion.
Yeah.
Was-
around
was-
the time that they
Was
were
this
doing
Spirit
Little People-
Squad shit?
No. That was past my time, or that was before my time.
That was Evolution
he-
with Spirit Squad.
No, DX is with Spirit
Yeah,
Squad.
Yeah.
You're right.
It was around the time where Booker T was still doing King Booker,
King Booker.
and Triple H came back, and Booker was like, "I'm the greatest king ever," and then they were playing the Triple H returning promos,
Mhm.
and he was the king of kings, and then he had a match with Booker at the pay-per-view, and then he started feuding with Vince for a little bit,
hmm
and then him and Shawn Michaels did a little reunion.
And then he turned on him.
Yes, and then he turned on. No, he didn't turn on him.
Sean turned on him.
No, there was no turning. They were both They were both in DX for a little bit. It was around the time of the Little People Court.
Oh, yeah.
That the last time.
Okay.
DX. The last.
I know what you're
time.
talking
The
about.
last DX run.
So, anyways, we're getting
It's a
off
little
topic.
fuzzy for me.
It was during probably what most of my friends called the shittiest time in wrestling ever. That's when I started watching. So I still stand to this day that I feel like I should be the easiest person to please because that was my first experience with wrestling. So if I don't like the product, it means something's fucking wrong.
There's a lot of things wrong.
Anyways, going back to the Stone Cold interview. First thing I want to touch on, obviously we talked about, I was asking you guys, did you feel like Triple H was less condescending than Vince was?
He seemed more at ease. I mean, it's like he's talking to one of his friends, and him and Stone Cold are friends. So it was. I think Triple H was able to let his guard down a little bit, able to speak more freely because, I mean, being the COO, he has a little bit more pull. So the only person he has to really listen to is Vince, and he didn't give anything. He didn't give too much away, and it just felt like he was talking to a friend.
I agree with you, Guapo. He felt more relaxed. He felt that he can just say anything he wanted off his chest, what's been bothering him with the company and the way things have been run or the way fans are reacting to certain things. And he's standing by some decisions that he has no control over, that Vince normally has the number one say. And he's just reassuring fans that it's not everybody, because the final say is through Vince. And you can see through Vince's
Do you think that
interview.
was see, it's not my fault, it's Vince's fault?
yes,
Exactly what it is.
he pretty much threw everything on Vince.
But I don't think it was in a negative way. I'm just,
No, he's saying that everything that's negative, you shouldn't be yelling at everyone in WWE about it. It's not Cena's fault. It's not Orton's fault. It's not his fault. It's not any of the wrestlers' fault. If something doesn't happen the way everyone wants it to happen, there's only one person to blame about the angles of these storylines and
or
everything.
praise.
Yeah, or praise. It's through Vince. He is the final say.
He also made a good point where he said something on the lines of some fans may not like how some things are moving along and how the story may be going, but he said that just wait a little bit and it may change drastically, or it may go to something else to what you actually wanted. You just have to give them a chance to actually tell the story instead of just throwing.
Well, it
what
gives
you
him a
want out
chance
there.
to.
It's hard. What he essentially says, it's hard to judge how successful an angle is now because
They don't know the crowd reaction.
A couple years from now, people could look back and be like, that was actually a pretty good angle.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying. Because, like, I mean, it's a terrible example, but the example I can think of off the top of my head was I remember when I watched the Little People's Court segment thing when it was happening and thought, this is the dumbest thing ever. This is so stupid. I can't believe they're doing this. This is dumb. And then years later, I go on Facebook or I go on YouTube and I'm watching the clips and thinking, this is hilarious. This is so funny.
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge something now.
But like with the whole internet and everything, all the smarts out there, they're talking about all these things like, oh, they're not great. This is what should happen. Well, they don't know if should happen that way because they don't know whether they're going to test the waters with a certain angle. If the crowd reaction is not what they are really going for, then you'll have something like last year with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wasn't supposed to go to Mania. It wasn't supposed to be him to win the title. God damn it!
Is that really how you're starting it?
Yes, it is.
Next.
Kayfabe is dead.
Kayfabe is dead.
Which is my reaction. God damn it! Kayfabe is dead.
Stone Cold talked about how did Triple H believe that put your feet down in my shot.
Be classy. My feet were not in the shot.
Yes, they are in the shot. If my knees are in the shot, that means they're in the shot.
Like my new kicks? They're nice.
Kayfabe is dead. Stone Cold talked to Triple H about kayfabe being dead and how people want something more realistic, I guess is what he was talking about.
I guess.
I'm gonna scroll down here to the thing. Right. Austin remarks that kayfabe is dead based on the fans being smartened up to both the on-screen product and behind-the-scenes going-ons. Triple H called it tough and said the internet brings a different component to the mix.
Yeah, I can see how it is tough because you really can't have these personas like The Undertaker anymore, or Mankind.
I think if you brought if today there's no Undertaker persona and you brought it in today, how it was when it was introduced, nobody's gonna buy it.
No one will never buy it. Because people are gonna go research the character and they're gonna find out the person's name, look at their backstory, who they are, where they're from.
WWE nowadays is the characters that go over very well are an extension of who they really are. And granted, not super popular, but Cena is basically Cena. He's not playing the character of John Cena. That's a lot of how he is.
And the only character that actually has really gotten over that barrier of they are an extension of who they are is Bray Wyatt. You know, he's the IRS's man's son. Mm-hmm. And
they never mention that.
They never mention that.
And his brother's Bo Dallas.
But they don't mention that. And think that Bray just got over so well with his promos and his deliver.
But for every Bray Wyatt that is successful with that kind of gimmick character,
you have Heidenreich.
You have a Fandango. You have a Sin Cara. You have a...
Hey now. Watch it.
You have a... Sorry, Guapo is way more successful a character than Sin Cara. You have a...
Because Umaga character, I'm a person.
Well, I think Umaga actually did okay around that time, but
he never spoke.
You have these characters that aren't going to make it past being mid-card.
With
that gimmick.
Let's put this in perspective. Rusev. After he loses, what is he going to do?
You have me.
I already told you what I think he's going to do.
I think he's super athletic and super gifted, but the thing is, you're going to have to get a gimmick change in order to elevate him to a different level.
People don't like The Miz, but The Miz is one of those characters that he's an extension of himself. I feel like that's how The Miz
he's The Miz on and off camera.
Same thing with Daniel Bryan. He's himself. And there's a couple guys that I know, like, they keep kayfabe outside of the business, like Cody Rhodes or Stardust now and Goldust. They when they're out in public, they are in character. And also, as of recently, is Curtis Axel. If you haven't checked it out, it's hilarious. Go on his Facebook page
So
Underneath
Twitter.
his name, it says Royal Rumble winner. And he changed his cover to him pointing to the WrestleMania sign.
That's funny.
Totally keeping kayfabe that he truly believes he's the Royal Rumble winner.
Also, it's just funny.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's just hard in this day and age for a character to... And Alex is calling again. Really? Alex is calling.
And we already warned him once about this.
Yeah, I told him I was doing the show, so let's just continue. Let's just continue on now.
Asshole.
I can't go to the thing now because he's calling.
Stop being a dick, Alex.
You know we're doing the show, damn it. Let's see. What do we want to talk about next in that interview? Let's see. Stop. Wait, what are you pointing at? Just say it then. Don't.
When Triple H says the business hasn't changed, they need to call audibles whenever they're in the ring, and like sometimes like calling the placements of the way matches should end, that it's on the wrestlers themselves, and how he's trying to teach the NXT guys that.
Yeah. He talks a lot in this interview about how he's running NXT and how
training these guys and
how it's different than Raw.
Not just different from Raw, just different from all the indies, and he's trying to trade them into the WWE style, which is completely different from all the indies where they're just given free range.
I really liked that part of the interview because he talks about he most of the time when he's trying to explain something, he explains it in football terms.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's a lot of these guys that are famous in indies who make it in WWE, and then there's a lot that don't. And I mean, I don't know if that was a jab at CM Punk, but I would agree with it.
I don't think it was a jab at CM Punk. I think it was more just kind of telling, like,
I think it's more of a jab at Drew McIntyre.
Well, there's that.
Well, that's one.
But there's these guys that come in and they're
And
super
Sin Cara.
They're super famous.
Not Hunico, but Sin Cara.
Well, Sin Cara wasn't. The original Sin Cara didn't do well, but he was not in his element.
Well, that's the point, is that these indie guys come in and they're famous being in the indies and do their thing in the indies. And a lot of people criticize the WWE, like, oh, the indie stars never make it through because WWE has this style, this certain style that they do things.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H talks about, well, if you are a football player and you go into the NFL and you played for the Giants or the Jets or anybody else and you move to, like, the Patriots don't give a shit about how you played in the Giants or in the Jets. You got to adapt to our playbook. I don't care how you played in the Giants. You got to adapt to how we play.
You don't care what playbook you ran in the Giants. We're worrying about the playbook we run in the Patriots.
And if you can't fit in, then
You
it's
use
not
that
going to work
analogy.
out.
Exactly.
And a lot of people would criticize that WWE can't adapt these indie guys, but I'm sorry. They have
No, they're
to
worrying
adapt.
about the safety of their investment in these guys.
These indie guys, when they're in the independents, they're wrestling. They have control over how many matches they wrestle.
Pretty much.
They can wrestle once a month. They can wrestle a couple times a month. Whatever, they have rest time. WWE, I feel, has a much more strenuous, especially if you're on Raw and SmackDown, a much more strenuous work environment. You're wrestling.
Not even counting the house shows that they have during the week, too.
Exactly. If you're wrestling on Raw, say you're wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, you have Raw on Monday night, you have a taping of SmackDown on Tuesday, not counting any of the house show, however many house shows that you do.
Sometimes there's 2 house shows a week. I know I've been to one that was on a Wednesday night, and I've also been to one that was on a Saturday.
So, max, you could be wrestling 4 to 5 times a week.
Depending on the travel of where you got to go for it and how popular you are. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're a very popular superstar, you're going to end up being in a house show.
So, I mean, you can't wrestle the same way you do in the indies.
And it's also you have to go make special appearances for certain like foundations if they're doing a fundraiser or like Comic-Cons and stuff like
Wizard
that.
World.
Filming stuff for the YouTube channel, filming stuff for the network.
Or for like USA, like if you're doing a TV show like The Miz just did.
Or movie.
Like Randy Orton just did.
It's a different environment, and Triple H is right when he's saying the guys have to adapt to that. They can't
It's sink or swim.
Exactly. You can't do the same thing as in the indies. You can't expect these guys to do the same thing as in the indies when they come into WWE. It's different, and you can see which guys are adapting to it and which guys aren't.
And he praised Finn Balor. He's saying, like, after one of his, I think it was Our Revolution, Finn Balor came up to him and
Said he was actually overwhelmed.
he was overwhelmed on how he's being accepted in and how he's actually progressing and how the WWE style really is and how much harder it is for him to adapt. And actually having someone teach him these things, he's very grateful.
And I would say, I mean, not that they're not doing it on Raw, but Triple H makes a point to say in NXT, they teach them where the cameras are and editing and lighting and stuff like that. So the guys are all aware of it. And he talks about Finn Balor saying, when I was in Japan, they just go out there and wrestle. He didn't even know where the cameras were.
They really didn't teach him theatrics or anything.
He didn't know where the cameras were. So he just wrestled and somebody else dealt with that part. I like that Triple H is showing at least a glimpse of what else has to happen in order to make a show. I feel like with that kind of knowledge, a wrestler will do better because he knows what's going into it.
And Triple H also said that he's not only training people in NXT to bring up to the next level for superstars, he's also got an entire school there, basically training to be the next generation of people who are behind the camera every week.
Everybody
because
on NXT is new.
Yeah, like new lighting crew,
camera work, everything like that.
Commentators.
All done by the Full Sail University down there.
I really like that. He also talked about how if somebody wants to like show him a new move or moveset or whatever, he has a feed going at the Performance Center all the
24/7.
time. So if like a wrestler comes in and like I want to try this new move, and Triple H can go in his little office and watch it, and they have the cameras and they do everything, and Triple H could be like, that's not going to work, or that looks good, or maybe you need to work on this. I feel like I like the way NXT is being run, and I've always said this, that WWE needs a brand that I feel is NXT now, where these guys can develop into their own star before they move on to Raw or SmackDown.
Actually have a basis of where they're starting from, and you can elevate from there.
I don't know. I really like what Triple H. Obviously, we love what Triple H is doing with NXT. I mean, what's the odds of Triple H watching this show? But we love what you're doing with NXT. That's coming from 3 smarks.
And I also want to get on the subject of Triple H talking about the brass ring, whole region for the brass ring, and like what it takes to be a real top star in the company. That no one is really ready for it. Like, you know when you're ready, but a lot of people, like Triple H said, he wasn't even ready for it for himself.
Oh yeah, hang on. It goes into that.
Okay.
But because that specific conversation was pertaining to Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, and how a lot of people say he's not ready. That's a big criticism from people, is that he's not ready. And Triple H essentially said, when are you ready? You don't know until you do it.
Exactly.
But my counterpoint to that is that Roman Reigns has yet to even headline by himself. The only time he's headlined a pay-per-view was in The Shield.
Yeah.
Or in like a Fatal 4-Way. Or he's never headlined a one-on-one match for a pay-per-view yet. Even a small pay-per-view. Which, granted, I guess Fastlane will be the first pay-per-view he headlined by himself.
He hasn't even held a title except for the tag titles with Rollins.
Exactly.
And I feel like Rollins really carried that tag team.
Yes.
Exactly what it was.
When he was in...
It was that and just the Shield itself, it carried the tag team by itself.
As a unit, I think he was really the weak link.
Well,
looking back on the unit itself.
When you have 2 guys like Rollins and like Ambrose who can talk, I don't feel like he was the weak link, but he did what he was the
weak link on the mic.
Yes.
Physically, he was the
muscle,
but as out of the 3, I see Ambrose and Rollins going further than Reigns will.
Well, Reigns he just reminds me of like Doyle rules. Kind of like I'm the big guy, kind of like what Ryback is. Like, not really good on the mic, but a big, strong guy in the ring that's just going to toss you around.
But my thing is that he talks about, well, when do you know? You never know when you're ready. And my thing is, he's, like I said...
The fans will tell you if they're ready.
Well...
And the fans let them know at Rumble if he was ready or not.
Fastlane, I'm saying Fastlane is going to be the first one-on-one match that Roman Reigns headlines a pay-per-view.
And Daniel Bryan's going to carry him through it.
First time. Do you really want, like, his second time to headline a pay-per-view to be WrestleMania for the title?
Not really. But
I'm
you
sorry.
know what?
I don't care what I like Triple H now. I don't care what he says. Roman Reigns is not ready because essentially your main event at WrestleMania 31 is two guys that can't talk on the mic without help.
Yep.
That's a question I want to ask the audience. At Fastlane coming up, do you think Roman Reigns will walk out victorious to go face Lesnar, or do you think Bryan will get the push that we all kind of want, but then again, don't want at the same time?
Well, I think what WWE is going to do, they're giving Roman another 30 days to prove himself if he's ready to carry the torch and move forward to this next generation, or are they just going to call an audible last minute for Bryan to go into WrestleMania?
I was talking to Deidre about this earlier in the day because she was asking about the Roman Reigns thing and everything. I feel like that is not fair to Roman Reigns.
No,
essentially what you are doing is you gave this guy this shot. The fans didn't agree to it. The fans reacted poorly to it. And so you put him in with Daniel Bryan. So this is what they're saying. They're like, Roman, you have 30 days to get yourself over. So we're going to put you in this program with probably one of the most over guys in the company right now, and you need to get yourself over. How is that even fair? Roman should be like, seriously, what the fuck?
No, but they're doing something that it's good. It's going to benefit him because they're giving him, I'm being screwed. So the fans are going to get behind that.
I don't feel like they are. I think they're going to boo him. They're going to, unless they turn him heel.
See what I see going into Fastlane.
He will be heel in this feud with Daniel Bryan.
But I see what's going on, like going towards Fastlane. He's going to have the match at Fastlane is going to be him and Daniel Bryan. It's going to come down to it that Daniel Bryan's actually going to get screwed out of this match by Dolph Ziggler.
I don't see that at
I don't
all.
see that coming at all. No,
I do.
Ziggler has no reason to screw him out of it.
Yet.
There's nothing for Ziggler to screw him out of it. Nothing.
I feel like this backtracking is as much as I don't want to see the main event of WrestleMania be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I have zero interest in seeing that match. I feel it's unfair to be like, you have 30 days to get yourself over. Here's a program with Bryan, make it happen. Also,
I was talking to a guy at work. I work with. He also watches wrestling and everything like that. Also, I kind of feel like this. I don't want Roman Reigns in the main event for Mania. However, it kind of feels kind of bullshit though that it kind of makes the Rumble match bullshit in one aspect because he actually won the Rumble. He deserves his title. He deserves his main event at Mania. It makes the entire winning of the Rumble just complete, like it never happened. Well, it negates the Rumble completely.
They went with the whole conspiracy behind it because literally, if Rock didn't come out there, he gets choke slammed out there. They leave. Rusev comes in here, picks him up, and throws him over the top rope.
But then if you say it like that, yeah, it would happen like that. But then you can also say Rusev won because one, he was hiding, and two, he waited until the guys who were just eliminated destroyed the guy who was the last person, and then he took advantage of it.
Well, he's the heel, so that can actually happen.
I brought this up on Raw, but if you watched how they showed the edited version of the end of the Royal Rumble, how the Rumble actually happened was Big Show and Kane were thrown over the top rope by Reigns. He won. Big Show and Kane came back in, started beating up on Roman. people were booing because
The
Roman
bell
won.
never, I don't think the bell never rang after
rang.
those two
No,
got
it
eliminated.
didn't. But then Rock came out,
No.
helped Reigns get rid of Big Show and Kane, and then the whole thing with Rusev happened. But how they edited it was they didn't show Big Show and Kane being eliminated. They showed The Rock run out, help Roman. So they made it look like The Rock interfered and helped Roman win. They didn't show the part. They edited it to make it look like the controversial part was The Rock coming out and helping Roman Reigns. Like he wouldn't have won without The Rock's help.
Now, the way I remember it, they showed them getting eliminated.
I don't think they showed them getting eliminated until after The Rock came out.
Correct us if we're wrong. So
Yes,
we're not perfect.
Exactly. I don't remember. I could
We're
be
not perfect.
completely
I
wrong.
think that they did show. She doesn't. So we're not going to have an argument about it. We're going to let you decide.
There
So,
we go.
Continue.
Yeah, that'll work. I actually want to move on to another point that I saw on here and was like, we need to talk about that, which is, I'm going to read the quote right here. Well, not quote. I'm going to
And
read.
jump cut.
And we're back.
We are back.
We are back. Oh, wait, hang on. 3, 2, 1.
And we're back.
Don't sound excited at all, Guapo. Sound really sad that we're back. That's what I want you to do. Sound really sad.
We are back.
Exactly.
Ooh, we're back.
No.
Snarf, snarf.
We're back. Yeah.
I told you I'd be back.
We're moving on now. Awesome.
Where are we at?
We are right here.
Okay.
I'm going to read this little clip, or read this little thing, and then you guys can react. Austin asks about the black.
Fuck that one up.
Yep. Austin asked about the brass rings and brought up emailers telling him it seems like WWE is handing one to Roman Reigns instead of him working for it. Triple H responded with, everyone works hard, including Roman, who busts his ass. Same for John Cena, who can be criticized for various things, but no one can say he is not a hard worker.
Well, he's speaking the truth, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but a lot of those guys do work hard, and they do feel unappreciated for their hard work. And just people who've keep getting pushed, like John Cena, who busts his ass, who's a great role model for guys in the locker room, because he's the first one in, last one out. Yes, he may work hard, but he doesn't deserve to keep having all this time in the spotlight. He needs to spread it around to these other guys who have also been busting their ass.
Ooh, Wappo.
What that guy said.
Really? That's all you... Okay.
Wow.
So, the main
Good
thing
commentary.
Is the main
Like
thing
Wapo.
Their main thing is that
Riveting.
they're talking about...
Well, you said everything I was going to say, really.
The main thing is that most people are talking about they don't feel like Roman Reigns has earned it.
I don't think he really has.
The thing is, he hasn't really proved himself to the fans
As a singles wrestler.
wrestler. However, though, how can he prove himself to the fans more
If he's not,
if
we
he's
don't
not
give him a
pushed,
chance.
if we don't have him in that light? So I could see on that aspect, yeah, let's throw him in there. Let's see what happens. Fans are gonna be pissed, but then again, we don't know what the hell's on the line later down the road.
2 more things I would like to talk about. Let's go with this one. Austin brought up the difference between pro wrestler and sports entertainer. Triple H said he understands the difference between the two in the sense that anyone can be a wrestler, but making it in the WWE is different because it is like being in the NFL against just playing football.
He really does have a point, because you've got to learn to do multiple things, as we talked about earlier in the video, in WWE. You've got to know how to make your public appearances, not just be a wrestler. You also got to be a diplomat for the brand.
Anything you do negative reflects badly
on the brand.
WWE.
Yes, and
which is why Emma got fired when she was
called shoplifting.
when they did that shoplifting thing. She was later rehired after they saw was a misunderstanding and
Mhm.
all of that, but she faced consequences.
And it's just, there's a lot more that goes to them be just a sports entertainer. You may have these people like on different brands, like such as TNA and ROH. I won't see TNA as much of a sports entertainer per se, because it's on a limited network, and nothing that they do is going to like be headline news if someone from there gets caught, say
Smoking weed.
smoking weed or busted for steroids. It's not going to make headline news. See, like a John Cena got broke loose, or news came out tonight saying that he had been busted with steroids. It will be front page news. It will be all over the place.
It would at least be mentioned on regular news shows.
It will be frontline news because the whole thing
probably
with
end up being on CNN or one of those, because as soon as a WWE superstar of John Cena's
Caliber.
John Cena's caliber and name
Mhm.
gets somehow
someone of the face of the business,
someone of the face, someone with the name who carries broadly with WWE gets put out there saying, "Hey, this guy has steroids in his system. He was tested positive." He's gonna look. They're gonna just look at the complete negative, and then they're gonna push to the all the negative things that have happened in the past.
I agree. Sorry, that's all I got. I'm pulling a guapo.
That's what happens.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, which I agree with Triple H on this, was Austin asked him if you could change one thing about Monday Night Raw, what would it be? And Triple H said, go back to 2 hours.
I agree 100%.
That third hour, I mean, we did it last week where it was like, seriously, there's another hour of this. We can barely make it through.
I'll be honest. I fell asleep during Raw this week because I just couldn't go any longer.
Raw does
I
not
wouldn't-
need to be 3 hours.
If they cut it back to 2 hours, it gives them more of a chance of, yeah, you're cutting back an entire hour, but then you're broadening, okay, now you have to actually limit yourself on the stuff that you put on TV to where that you can tell a story this week, and next week actually continue it, and maybe start another one.
You know what they could do is they could have 2 hours on the show on
Without those
regular
dumb
TV,
filler spots.
and then they could do an hour on the network.
I would like it.
I'll be okay with that.
The last hour being on the network.
Yeah, without even just being like,
It's not even the last hour of the actual show. It would be the last hour of basically mid-card and just fillers.
They could do
just
that.
dark matches at period could just be on the network. You can have like a pre-show to Raw, 30-minute pre-show and a
There you
30-minute
go.
post-show.
The instead of the last hour being on it, the first hour being on Raw.
Have the pre-show on Raw, like do a pre-Raw show, and you have your dark matches, and you can have one dark match at the end of the show, which could be like a 30-minute dark match main event to spotlight future talent.
Also, it would be an amazing thing if they bring the network title in it,
The
network
fabled
title.
Network title that we've been talking about.
It is fabled. It's going down into Wrestle Recap lore.
Isn't technically the network title the NXT title?
No,
Because it's only
technically,
on the network.
technically, the network
Yes.
title is held by the one and only Zack Ryder.
That's the internet title.
That's the
It's
internet
different.
title.
Exactly, but the network is on the internet, hence network title.
Who's Zack Ryder again?
Yeah, who is Zack Ryder?
Woo,
I
woo,
think he was
woo.
in the Rumble, right? That one.
Know it.
Yeah, he was my guy.
So overall, the Triple H interview with Stone Cold, I felt it opened my eyes a little bit on how things are done, and it felt like he wasn't being condescending to the fans, and he acknowledged that a lot of fans are smarter nowadays,
Mhm.
and that matters when you're making the show.
And I would love to see a second interview with Stone Cold with Triple H. I would like to see that.
Definitely.
Maybe right after Fastlane.
I would like
If
that too.
It would only build everything if they do that.
I very much enjoyed Stone Cold's interview with Triple H way more than Vince's. Vince's
Oh.
was kind of like in retaliation.
It felt like
Punk's.
Vince was really, he gave Stone Cold a script. He's like, you have to go by these questions,
Mhm.
and you can't veer off of this.
I agree. I felt Vince's was much more serious, and I felt like, I mean, especially the part where he talks about like millennials and whatever. I felt it was very condescending towards some wrestlers and the
Half
fans,
the roster.
and the fans as well. Whereas Triple H's was much more understanding, I guess.
I can see Triple H is more caring about what the viewers want than what Vince wants.
Exactly. Like I said at the beginning of all this, I felt like Vince's was very condescending, very much, I've been doing this forever, so I know it's best for you. As opposed to Triple H's, I've been doing this forever, but I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I would like to see another, I mean, we would all like to see Triple H take over at some point, right? Just
Rather sooner than later.
Definitely.
And maybe that's a double-edged sword. Maybe we'll find out that Triple H is actually like when he's finally in power, it gets worse or whatever. But if NXT is any indication of how Triple H is going to run the show, I see Raw and SmackDown only getting better after Triple H takes over.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we want to talk about on this show?
I just want to comment on his comments about CM Punk. I don't feel like it's the full truth of what he was saying.
I think it was a little bit.
I think it was more vague, kind of going over it. Wants to answer the question.
Would you say it was cryptic?
I don't say it was cryptic. I want to say that it was more. He doesn't want to say how he really feels because everyone knows how he feels about Punk, and he wants to make.
Also, we're done with it. He's gone.
Yeah, and I think that's really what Triple H wanted to do is say, "I'm done with this. We're moving on. Let's talk about the future."
No need to stir the waters any more than what they already have been.
Punk has said his piece. We've said our piece.
Now Hunter has said his piece, so we should be done with this.
Should be done with any Punk stuff, which I'm okay with. Let Punk go be in UFC and
I will watch his first fight. I will pay to watch his first fight.
We will.
CM Punk versus Jason David Frank. Make it
will
happen.
Not be his first
Make
fight.
it happen, Dana White.
Will not be his first fight.
Yeah, Jason David Frank will probably whoop his ass.
Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, that is it for this episode. A little thing for next episode. I'm not sure how the next couple weeks are going to be going as far as episode-wise. I mean, we are kind of scattered-brained with the episodes anyways, but I think recently we've been putting one about once a week, depending on, it's not the same time every week, but we've been trying to put one up at least once a week. I'm going to be sent out on a project at some point soon, supposedly. So I'm not sure if we're going to try and do it with me via satellite, or if these two guys are just going to do it, or if they're going to wait until I come back to do episodes.
This is going to get interesting.
So
on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z,
Shut up.
Senor Guapo and Suave
This is not Dragon
have
Ball
an
Z.
episode.
But so I don't know if it's gonna because how it will work out is essentially every other week I would be gone. So I don't know if every other week is going to be the Guapo and Suave show where they just talk about what divas they want to bang each week or
Giggity.
whatever.
That's a damn long list.
So-
It's true. It's damn true.
So I don't.
Keep it classy.
It's going to be interesting when I'm gone because I don't know what these guys are going to do in my absence, if they do anything at all.
Lots of jump cuts.
So many jump
Guapo
cuts.
will be editing if I'm not here.
I'm decent.
So we'll see how this show goes. Do we want to talk about sponsors at the end of the show, or are we gonna?
Yeah, we can talk about our sponsors.
We say sponsors. No one's giving us any money
No.
for any of this shit.
Not even underwear.
Exactly, it's a joke.
So, Jonathan, if you want to donate, we'll gladly wear them on camera.
We will.
I would love a
They
pair
will.
of Titty Master
They
ones.
will
Or an extra large.
Make a Suave one.
make a swap.
Guapo with my face.
Oh God, that would be horrifying. I'm just picturing it. The underwear with just Guapo's
I give
face
you-
on it.
No, just put the Suave
Jonathan,
one.
I give you all the rights to my likeness.
Don't say that.
He will use the shit out of it.
underwear. For underwear.
So anyway,
That's gonna be scary.
If you guys, we are hinting, of course, at Wrestle-roos, our friend Jonathan.
Not
who-
Wrestleroos.
Wrassleroos.
We used the logo quite a bit in the last episode.
Yes.
Right here.
or here or there.
Why? You know I have to edit it now.
I know.
Okay, fine. It's just gonna be right here. Right here.
That's covering
Here.
me. That's covering me up.
Right here.
It's
Putting
not
it
covering you.
right here.
Okay,
Right
go put it right here.
Right there. I still have to edit a lot. It's right there. Wrestle-roos. Go check him out.
Check him out on Facebook.
I think he was having a sale. I don't know if it's still going on.
He was having a
It was
giveaway,
a
actually.
Is
giveaway.
he having a
Giveaway on Facebook. All you have to do is like, comment,
And share.
and share it. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll put that up. My friend, the Alex Enterprise, does our intro music, and so if you want to go check him, any of his stuff out, that's it. Also, and I don't want to hurt the Alex Enterprise's feelings because I love his intro music, but I'd like to find some cool intro music.
And keep it fresh. Keep it kind of rotate them out.
Exactly. I would like so if anybody has some new intro music for us, I want intro music.
So comment below.
And I might make a new intro cinematic clip.
Maybe.
If we have new intro music.
We can, like, for Rivals, we can do all NXT people.
We could do that. And I'm also thinking about getting a new editor so that we can add more effects to the show, but that might be later.
But what will you do?
What
No,
will
like
I do?
program editing.
Oh, editing software.
Editing software.
Okay, I thought you were going to get a new editor.
Wait a minute. What the fuck do I do? I set up the camera. I set up the lighting. I make sure we're recording.
Well, guys,
Fuck you. What do I do?
it's come that point.
Fuck you. What do I do?
And now, as some
Now
of y'all
that Suave
know,
has thoroughly insulted everything that I do on the show.
we're not ending just yet because next week is Kristen, the Black Cat Feline's birthday.
Oh, I didn't know we were bringing this up.
It is her birthday next week.
Next week is my birthday. I'm gonna be old as shit next
And
week.
since we may or may not have a video next week, I just want to wish you a happy birthday, Kristen.
Aw, you guapo.
Sorry, I'm the favorite.
Thank you, Suave, for not saying it and for insulting everything I do on the show.
That's what I do best.
If there is a show next week, we should do it. We should do it on my birthday, and we should be hammered.
We should. TNA night, right?
TNA night?
But I can't watch TNA on here.
Order the package.
We need to watch something. We need to have it on, and we need to figure out a way to like take a shot during like shitty parts or whatever.
Or we should just
Leave
watch Raw and
Spaz, leave a comment down below. Which
Spaz,
pay-per-view should we watch that you know is probably shitty so we can get drunk off of?
I'm done here.
Suave out. Kristen out.
Y'all have a good night.